idea. Finding the main idea is one of the most important things to help you with your reading comprehension. Main idea is the purpose of the paragraph or text. All information in the paragraph should connect to the main idea. Some information is not as important. These would be the details of the text. Good readers identify key ideas to help them find the main idea. Identifying main idea. 1. Read the whole text first. 2. Ask, what is the author doing here, or what is the author trying to say or get across? 3. Pay extra attention to the first and last sentence. These sentences often have key information that will help you identify what the main idea of the text is. Here's an example. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first men to walk on the surface of the moon, but they were not the last. That was Gene Cernan, the last man to step off the lunar surface. In total, there have been 12 men who have walked on the moon, all of whom had done so between 1969 and 1972, which is the most recent non-Michael Jackson moonwalking. Understanding main idea. You must comprehend the text by focusing on the biggest idea. To focus on the biggest idea, you need to know the three main details. The three main details of this passage were Armstrong and Aldrin were the first men on the moon, 12 men have walked on the moon, and Cernan was the last man on the moon. These three details help you get the main idea. This paragraph is about moonwalkers. Be careful. Test writers may ask you. Another good title for this passage would be, this statement is just another way of asking for the main idea. Practice passage. Find the three details and then find the main idea of the text. An assassination is the murder of a famous person, usually a celebrity or political figure. Many famous assassinations have been attempted, but fewer have succeeded. Here's a brief overview of some famous successful assassins. Lee Harvey Oswald was a former Marine who allegedly killed President John F. Kennedy. Ironically, Oswald was himself assassinated a few days later by Jack Ruby. Mark David Chapman was a mentally deranged man who shot and killed John Lennon, lead singer of the Beatles. But perhaps the most notorious assassin of all is John Wilkes Booth, who killed President Abraham Lincoln while Lincoln attended the theater. Practice paragraph answers. In the last passage, you should have gotten these three main details. Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK, Mark David Chapman killed John Lennon, and John Wilkes Booth killed President Abraham Lincoln. This leads us to the main idea, which is famous assassinations. Now it's your turn. For each of the next three passages, you will need to do the following. Write down the three most important details of each passage, and write down the main idea of each passage. Number 1. Nicki Minaj, rap phenomenon, hailing from Queens, New York, has a new honor to add to her resume. Top searched Halloween costume based on a person for the 2011 season. Nicki edged out other popular costume searches such as Charlie Sheen. Though no commercial Nicki Minaj costume kit is available, there are a lot of helpful hints available online that show people how to get that Nicki look. The popularity of the Nicki Minaj costume search was only edged out by the Angry Birds costume search, which was the most searched for costume this year. Please write down the three main details and the main idea of the paragraph. Passage number 2. The Greek word dinos means terrible, powerful, or wondrous. Combine this with the Greek word sauros, which means lizard or reptile, and you might get dinosaur, which refers to huge creatures that roamed the earth millions of years ago. The term Dinosauria was coined by English paleontologist Richard Owen in 1842, which was meant to express the idea that dinosaurs were terrible reptiles or fearfully great lizards. Over the years, Dinosauria gradually became dinosaur, which is the word we use today to describe those giant beasts from the past. Passage number 3. The next time you get the sniffles, remember that it could be worse. SARS is an airborne sickness that killed around 1,000 people on and after its discovery in 2003. AIDS is one of the most devastating illnesses in human history. It is estimated that there are over 2 million AIDS-related deaths each year in the world, but perhaps the most infamous and devastating outbreak in history was the bubonic plague, Black Death, which is estimated to have killed 75 million people, or 1/3 of the population of Europe in the 14th century. This now ends your notes for main idea.